formed probably about 2.5 years ago when I started writing a couple of songs that were a little more there was a little more to them in terms of songs I'd done before. I was taking a lot more time actually preparing the songs and wanting to kind of showcase them a little more.
I don't know, a little boy, Alex Bailey said, you know, we got many names for that guy.
My buddy Henry, who's also the vocalist in the band.
He helped me out with a couple of my terrible bands back in the day.
He'd wanted to do a similar thing to what I was doing. He was playing a bit of a turd band at the time.
You know, I essentially said to Alex, we need to start cooking up some riffs, because I got into vocals and, you know, he got into that whole really fast playing, which the dude's fucking wild, so I was like, yo, hook me up, write some fucking riffs.
And then we started jamming on some tracks. I'd written the guitars, he would jam his vocals, and that started around about the start of 2012.
So, yeah, he wrote some fucking riffs.
And then from there on, we decided we were going to record an EP, and we wrote 4 tracks together, and then, you know, the rest is what it is. How Phil came into the mix, man, I've known Phil a long time. He's a sick guy.
I overheard one bit of Alex Bailey's interview. I came and, you know, kind of hit at the door. He says that, you know, Phil came about through him meeting him at a gay bar. These are lies.
He's going to try and tell you one story which just is not true at all. He's completely fabricated this. Basically, he's going to try and play it out that this gig was put on. This was an all-day gig. Quite a few bands, Trigger Bloodshed, headlining the gig. It was going to be a cool show. Alex is going to try and tell you that this was at a gay bar.
Years and years ago when me and Henry were about 16, I was playing in a band with him. You know, one of our first bands called The More They Betray, dig it? Henry booked a tour, like somehow managed to pull it off, booking his own tour around the UK, and Trigger the Bloodshed were headlining. And one of the dates was in Newcastle at well, it was a gay bar.
This was not a gay bar. This bar was in the gay district of Newcastle. Does not necessarily make it a gay bar. I personally think Alex just kind of wanted that.
Yeah, it was a gay bar, but somehow like there was a load of extreme metal bands playing there for the day. I don't really know how that came about. It must have been cheap to book or something. But either way,
you know, he knew Phil. He knew Phil like probably for about 6 months, a year before that.
I knew Alex and Henry for quite a while. Me and Henry used to swap gigs back in the day. Those guys are down from Leeds, I'm from Newcastle, so it's not too far away. It's only an hour and a half.
All of us guys played in the same circles, and I used to run a promotion for a few venues in York. And Phil used to do similar stuff in Newcastle.
We used to trade gigs quite often just to get our band's exposure when we were younger, you know, and became friends. Stayed in touch, put them on a couple of times in Newcastle, and Alex eventually ended up playing guitar for my other band.
A band called X's for Eyes, who needed a guitarist to fill in on their tour, and he messaged me out of the blue asking if I'd be interested and if I could do it. And so I ended up filling in for X's for Eyes for quite a while, and then I eventually joined the band and did a couple of recordings with them.
When we started looking for a bass player, the first dude that came to mind really was Phil. Dude's a great dude, and we always have a great time, and been a great fit to the band, you know, so.
In those senses, when those guys started doing things together and they required a bass player, he got in touch.
Maybe towards the end of 2013, me and Henry dropped him a line asking if he'd be interested in playing bass with the band.
And I just thought it would be really cool to work with some good friends, so it's turned out well so far.
You know, he's been nailing the songs, and he's just doing the first recording with us now, so I'm real pumped for that.